This whole island is full of thimbleberries, and another week or so they'll be ripe, but I see one up here that's ripe. Look at that guy. Oh, oh. Oh, another one. Where's the... Oh. Looks like blood. They're very good. A little sour, sweet, excellent. That's an old well that they dug years and years ago to get water. It doesn't go down too far, probably, I would say about 20 feet. It's dry, there's nothing down there but just leaves and stuff like that. There's a mine that was not far from here, but then there's creeks, so I'm really surprised that they dig a well. I don't know the story of this, why they dig this well here.
Did you put them in the tent?
Well, we're winding it down. It's about 8 o'clock at night. We got a fire going. We're at Island Mine Campsite. But look who we bumped in today. Twinkle Toes and Pumper. And today is their anniversary.
It is.
Their first anniversary, and they came to Isle Royale. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're excited to be here.
So how was the first year?
It was pretty good.
Yeah?
Well, let me ask Pumper. How was the first year?
It was good. Yeah.
And then there's Runner with his fire.
Of course.
Where?
You gonna get some more wood?
We obviously don't have enough.
Tiny fire. It's a tiny fire.
You know, you guys seen in the videos, he has this huge fire and he's really restrained himself to a small fire to let it last pretty much all night. Otherwise, that would have been gone about an hour ago. So thank you for restraining yourself, fireman. What else do you have to say? You're pretty quiet today.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to see anything but my eyeballs on that. You know, I have something to say.
Okay, wait while I get out of the smoke. Okay.
I'd like to put a call out to my wonderful wife, Gail. Hey, we're missing ya. Wish you were here. I know you wish you could be here too for part of it, not all of it. There's a lot of bugs, a lot of mosquitoes.
Are you trying to teach Pumper how to be a good husband? The first night, you guys graciously let us come in and hang our hammocks, and then we return favor to you guys today. Thunderstorm went through here and just poured. And you can have a tarp and a good setup, but it's still, it's unfortunate. I'm on a indentation. I had a little puddle, about a 2-inch puddle, so everything on that tarp is wet, soaking wet. Some of the stuff I should have put in my pack, but I didn't. Big mistake. Been making a lot of mistakes up here. Live and learn, man. Live and learn. So we're getting up. It's probably about 6 o'clock, and we're going to start getting ready, pack up, eat breakfast, and head on out. Something went wrong there on that tree.
Hey, hello there. This is Runner here, fellow backpackers. We're really in a site, and there's no sites in this whole Isle Royale camp area that are really good for hanging. There was one, but of course somebody already had it. So both me and Maureen are trying to find a decent hang here. He can show you his in a minute, but I really had to improvise. One big tree on the end we're both sharing, but on this end just a couple smaller trees. Hooked into this one, had a ton of sag. Went over, sitting here looking at it, and I'm thinking, well, if I V this off, I'm going to have support from both the trees, and it really did work. It worked wonders, so my hammock is much more stable now. I feel more comfortable sleeping in it tonight. So, all right, but that's what we're learning here, is just try to improvise and not damage any trees in the process. So,
now for the marine, I started off hanging my hammock and my tarp on those two trees, and if you can see, these are ready to pull down. they're ready to come down. Even this one here, these pines, they're not rooted good, and they're ready to fall. So I had to improvise this way, from that birch tree over there to that birch tree over there. It's on a slope, which you can see, and the tarp just made it to the back of that birch tree back there. So you can see that tarp just made it to that birch tree. So, and if it rains, all that's going to run downhill, so this is going to end up being a good hang. So we're hanging here at South Duseur Lake. We just got our hammock set up, our tarps, drying stuff out. We had a huge thunderstorm, which is really great. Went through early this morning. Thunder, lightning is beautiful. And so things are wet. We're drying things out. It's a beautiful, not a cloud in the sky right now, except for the mosquito on my arm. So we're gonna go down there, do a little swimming, get some funk off us, have lunch down there at the lake. The lake would go down the hill. It's really kind of a nice area. But one thing I gotta tell you though, up here at Isle Royale, it's not really hanger friendly. There's a lot of people up here, and if you don't get a sight quick, you're not gonna find anything. You're gonna have to go in the woods and try to hang. So. Runner is also a swimmer.
No more mosquitoes.
I didn't know Runner could float.
Laundry day. This is how we do our laundry up here. All clean. Ready for another week.
The gansers. One's trying to get on the rock, it can't climb up. It's kind of like us getting up this hill. Man, that's a lot of mergansers. We're sitting here on Duseur Lake, soaking our feet. It feels so good. Man, if you guys, when you hike, it's really good to take your feet and soak them in water, a stream, lakes. It really helps foot maintenance. I haven't had a blister in a long time since I've been soaking my feet afterwards. Sun's beating down on us, getting a little cloudy. To the east all day, we've been hearing thunder, but we haven't heard it for a while, so I'm hoping that just passed by and it's going to be a nice day. Hot today. Just a beautiful day. We're on the Greenstone Trail, and the Greenstone Trail is really nice. It's a lot better than the Felderman Trail. It's up high on a ridge. The trail's nice. You can use your hiking sticks and cruise along, ups and downs. I haven't seen any real beautiful views, but man, the mosquitoes are so bad here at this Duseur Lake campsite. Well, it's been bad everywhere. But this time we're up on a hill, so we're not getting a breeze in here. Everywhere we've been, we have gotten a breeze that comes through, so it hasn't been too bad. Yesterday wasn't too bad. But this is how we got to eat. We got our mosquito nets on because they're just circling our head. You lift up, take a bite. Here they come. This is from Packet Gourmet. It's Cajun chicken salad. It's amazing. This is one of my favorite ones, and it's hot today. I think it's still about 81 degrees, so instead of having a hot food, I got some cold food going on. And moved my tarp, and under my tarp was a red-bellied snake. I haven't seen one of them in a long time. That was really cool seeing that red-bellied snake. I haven't seen one in a long time. They're real docile, so people, if you're afraid of snakes, those you don't have to worry about. When I was a kid, my brothers and I would go to my grandfather's place up on Half Moon Lake by Milltown, Wisconsin. Had a lake home there and just loved catching frogs and turtles and snakes. And when my dad would bring the car in the driveway and stop the car and we'd get out of there, my brothers and I would run for the wood pile. My grandpa would stack wood for the winter, and it just was loaded with snakes, and we used to catch a lot of snakes, and really red bellies were one of the ones we would always look for. Another thing was skinks, but this is all before DDT was. Now you just don't see as many as you do, and I know probably a lot of you guys are saying you're grateful for that, but man, that was great childhood memories with my brother and I catching snakes. We just bumped into a bull moose right on the trail. Seeing us, took off running down the trail. Dropped everything, grabbed the camera, and tried to run ahead to see if I can catch up with him. But I think he dove into the woods. It was a nice big bull moose. Man, that would have made a great picture. Sorry I didn't get that. I was really hoping to capture a moose on film, let alone see a moose. We haven't seen one. We've been here 5 days. And we are heading down to Hatchet Lake to set up camp for tonight. Hopefully the campsites are on the lake, not like the Sword Lake up on the hill. We're hoping to be down out of the mosquito to get the breeze. And that's a little bit of trail art. Someone made a little moose art there, taking some moose antlers and a rock, and it's kind of cool. Some trail art. And behind me is Hatchet Lake. We're heading down that way to our camp, and we're going to soak our feet, maybe take a dip, get some water, rehydrate. I got this underquilt for my War Bonnet Ridge Runner from Underground Quilt. But to put it on, you have two ends. One end has like a little bungee on there, and they both have these purple carabiners on there. So you put it in here, snaps in like that, and out like that. So to set it up, have the bungee all the way out, snap it on, then you'll snap these four corners here. Now this is the head end. The foot end has the bungees on it, so it's very important to make sure you get that right. Then I put that on in this one, the last one, and now you take it and you cinch it up as high as you want. I like to give it just a little bit of play about that, much down there. And this thing fits like a glove. This one I got is a 10-degree underquilt, and the reason why I got a 10-degree underquilt instead of, in this case I would have rather had a 40-degree underquilt, is because I plan on using this for 3 seasons, so this will work well into 3 seasons. Get me down to where it's just starts snowing. I had this down to 19 degrees and it kept me warm. So this is a nice underquilt. One thing I always use on all my hammocks and Runner 2 is an underquilt protector. Yesterday or 2 days ago we had a thunderstorm and it was just blowing wind, and you don't want your down to get wet. The thing in this way is probably 6 ounces, and I always will not leave without it. I always wear protection. This one's a little tricky to get on the bridge hammock. You got these little loops on the end with these bungees, and you want to put it inside your spreader bar point. You put it in like that, and then put it back in the hole. So around each under protector on each corners, and in the middle is a shock cord. So what you want to do, then you cinch the middle one. Once you have all the 4 corners cinched and the middle cinched, then you spin it around. Make sure you put the saddlebags over on the side. Tuck all that in there. And there you go. You got the underquilt protector protecting that down quilt. Just got done eating lunch. For lunch we had sweet and spicy. Just like my wife, sweet and spicy. Just the way I like her, sweet and spicy. And Runner mentioned this a couple days ago, that we're so lucky and blessed to have wives that let us do this and to go out and adventure out into the wilderness, and they support us, and because sometimes we're gone 2 weeks, 10 days, so. That's one thing up here. Instead of having latrines out in the woods for each campsite, you have an outhouse, which is kind of nice. There's a door, but the only thing is that you have to share it. So each group site have one outhouse, and each individual group of individual sites will have just one outhouse. So you have to share it with other people. And that's not a problem, except for if you're in a busy campsite, like when we're in Island Mine campsite. I think there was like 30 people, at least 30 people we had to share one outhouse, so that was kind of a issue, but otherwise it's not bad. But you know what, I'm standing here by the outhouse, and I hate to say it, but thimbleberries! I see a lot of ripe thimbleberries. Man, oh man, look at, there's some there. You know, I know I've talked about this hammock having a great view and great ventilation. It's a great summer hammock. You can see the view that I have. And I'm laying down now, I'm not sitting up. And I got my tarp in porch mode. And this is the other side. Even though I'm by a hill and there's vegetation here, I could also, of course, have a nice view here. So if I had a gathered in hammock I wouldn't be able to have this view here because the material would be riding up too high. But with this bridge hammock, I got a nice view all around. I have good ventilation. I have the mosquito net up because the mosquitoes are starting to come in. Otherwise, if I didn't have that, man, I'd have a great breeze coming through here right now. And then with the saddlebags, which is definitely worth the little extra weight. This has a double layer. Probably didn't need the double layer, but I'm heavy. You know, this hammock is a little heavier, but it is worth carrying. This is 20 ounces without the spreader bars, and you have to have the spreader bars, so you add the spreader bars. And, you know, the ones that come with it is 12 ounces, so now you're looking at 32, but I cut the weight in half by getting carbon fiber spreader bars. So it's still a little heavier than most hammocks. For summertime, to me it was worth carrying that little extra weight because I'm carrying light in the summertime because I'm not bringing much clothing, so I can bring a little heavier hammock, so that worked out well. This is a great hammock. I really recommend it if you're looking for a hammock, and if you have trouble with calf ridge, this is always a hammock to really look into. A lot of people are coming to the bridge hammocks because of that issue. No, they're swimming to shore. Doggone it, if it ain't a moose.
Get out of it.
No, seriously.
How far down is it?
2 moose swimming. Isn't that something?